Germany and the US share a dark history of repression and genocide. During the Holocaust, the Nazis murdered 6 million Jews, 2 million Sinti and Roma, and countless gay people and people who did not conform to the Nazi ideal, while the US enslaved millions of Africans and committed genocide against the indigenous people of North America. Germany has a well-established, what I call repentance culture. The country has made significant efforts to acknowledge and atone for its past. Germany has erected memorials, museums, and plaques throughout the country to ensure that the horrors of the Holocaust are never forgotten. In contrast, the United States has yet to fully acknowledge its past atrocities. In fact, in many states, Republicans are actively trying to limit what is taught about the US's dark history. Many states label any discussion regarding race, civil rights, or the history of slavery in the Americas as woke and are banning teaching what they call critical race theory. Mind you, nothing being taught in any classroom anywhere in the United States is critical race theory. All of these so-called well-intentioned bigots use the reasoning that little Johnny shouldn't feel guilty about being white because he isn't to blame for slavery because it ended 200 years ago. Never mind that only 50 years ago, when most people's parents my age were in their teenage years, it was still illegal for white kids to go to school with black kids. If kids aren't taught about slavery, then what good does it do to teach about the civil rights movement since there is no context for it?
If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press.
And that is the point with these people. They want to go back to a time when black people, women, gay people, anyone not white and Christian basically knew their place and didn't get uppity. And if they did get uppity, well, they soon learned not to. The country still honors the Confederacy with statues and monuments, most of which were not erected until the beginning of the Civil Rights Movement in the 1940s and 50s. This is telling on so many levels. It was never about honoring their forefathers based on this lost cause myth that many Southerners love to hold on to. It was about reminding black people of their place in society. As for indigenous people, many Americans continue to deny the atrocities committed against them, or justify the atrocities because, well, they aren't unique, and every people has killed people and taken their land. It's survival of the fittest, right? You know who else thought like that? There are lessons that the United States can learn from Germany. Starting in the German equivalent of the 5th grade, students begin to learn about the Holocaust and the atrocities committed by the Nazi regime. Teachers use a variety of resources, including textbooks, films, and survivor testimonies, to help students understand the scale and horror of the Holocaust.
These young Germans, Christians, Jews, and Muslims visited Auschwitz.
To see the harm people can inflict when they have power is truly frightening. It was really intense. I need to process it all first.
They visit concentration camps and memorials to the victims of the Holocaust to gain a deeper understanding of the impact of the Nazi regime. Kids are encouraged to engage in independent research projects and to participate in competitions related to the Holocaust. Now, all of this is done at an age-appropriate level. 5th grade students are not taught in the same manner as last year of high school students are. But the United States should do the same thing by incorporating the history of slavery and genocide against Native Americans into its educational system. Furthermore, the U.S. should establish more memorials and monuments to acknowledge and remember its past atrocities. It is very telling that the U.S. hosts probably the preeminent Holocaust Museum and Documentation Center in the world, yet there is no museum to transatlantic slavery, to the Civil Rights Movement, or even a memorial to the genocide of the indigenous people of North America. Make no mistake, there are people in Germany who feel like Germany has apologized enough for its past and it's time to move on. And there are blind spots in Germany's remembrance culture too when it comes to its horrific colonial history in the 19th century. Now, Germany isn't perfect. It could do more in addressing and memorializing its colonial past, but the fact that it is at least willing to try to address its history is something that the US could learn from. I think much of the reason that Germany is able to address its past like it does is because it was soundly defeated in World War II. Had World War II ended like World War I with a negotiated and settled peace, I don't think the groundwork would have been laid for a genuine self-reflection about its Nazi past. The United States in many ways has never learned from its past because frankly, it's never had to. It's never tasted real defeat in a war like Germany did in World War II. This notion of American exceptionalism has been passed down from generation to generation over the last 250, almost 300 years. And when you think you're exceptional, you think everything you've done to get you to that point is justified. The past cannot be erased, but acknowledging it and atoning for it can pave the way for a better future. The United States, in my opinion, is at a crossroads. The fascist element has become very loud and very bold in the United States, and it is up to the forces of liberty and progress to fight off those very loud and very bold fascist forces. The only way to do this is through education. Real education about a real past, and not a longing to take America back to some mythical place where it was once great that never actually existed. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and hit the like button and make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so. Until next time, I'll see you later.